I am trapped in a struggle about love and hate, trust and betrayal. My surroundings are full of mysteries, including him, the one I shouldn't trust but can't thinking about. He is my mate, yet also my jailer. In this story, I am the prey that is being chased, and he is the hunter, controls everything. But as the scales of fate begin to tip, who is the hunter and who is the prey becomes less clear. Chapter 1. We have to go before they find us. Sam, one of my bodyguards said with a sense of urgency, urging me to leave. But we can't just leave like that. I continued. We can and we will. We promise to take care of you and we will even if you are standing in the way. Jonathan said, pulling me out. But we can't just leave. Everyone here has been kind to us. We can't just abandon them when they need us. I continued. Find her and when you do bring her to me, I'm going to end her. She promised. This was the voice of the person that was hard-bent on killing me. She haunted me not only physically but in my dreams too. We have to go now, Sam said with an urgent tone, and this time I dared not utter a word. We were currently at the secret passage filled with endless stairs and it was really dark and creepy. They were both holding a torch so we had a sense of direction and vision. We walked fast and when we reached outside the tunnel we saw 3 horses stationed outside. We got on it hastily and rode quickly even though we had no idea we're headed to. We weren't safe anywhere. The only place I thought I was safe, and she managed to get me there too. It has been like this for 2 years now. Her chasing me to kill me and me running for my dear life. It wasn't like this before. My mom used to tell me stories of how the world was such a good and peaceful place, but now it was filled with war. No one could sleep with both eyes closed for fear of being killed in their sleep. People like her terrorized the feeble and no one could say anything about it. She killed anything or anyone not considering the age or anything. Her main purpose was to control the world and kill anyone who stands in her way. I'm not standing in her way though. I actually don't care what she does. I only complain to myself. I don't know why she was hell-bent on killing me, but then I remembered. I have no idea why she thinks I'm powerful enough to kill her, but I think it's either kill or be killed. But who could try to kill her? I can't do anything to hurt her. She's way more powerful than I am and I am so scared of her I wouldn't want to even go near her because she won't hesitate to kill me, but I'm just hoping that someone brave enough wouldn't save me the stress of running for my life. Where do we go to? I asked as we stopped to rest. We were currently in a cave where we would be spending the night. I know we have nowhere to go and no one to turn to cause the instance we turn up to someone they'd turn against us, and that wouldn't end well for any of us. I don't know, Sam answered. We can run all our lives as long as we protect you, cause if anything should happen to you there wouldn't be hope for survival and we can't let that happen. We need to. I told you I don't believe in that. Why couldn't I do anything when she killed Mom and Dad? Why can't I do anything anytime she shows up, huh? I asked angrily. I'd like you guys to stop building false hopes cause I'm nothing compared to her. She would end me without even blinking her eyes. You've got to believe, Jonathan urged. You're our only hope to end this suffering. Everybody's looking forward to you to end this. That's exactly what I don't want. I can't handle it. She's going to kill me. I couldn't do anything to her today. What makes you think that I'd be able to tomorrow? We believe in you and the moon goddess. She'd protect us through you. Sans, let's just call it night, I said, tired of the argument. This wasn't the first and it certainly wouldn't be the last. I possessed the greatest gift, but I wasn't going to use it. I'm not going to be what everyone wants me to be. I have a life also, sadly the one I can't get. I've always been protected from the outside world by my parents. I wasn't allowed to go outside or attend any function. I only did once a year to celebrate the moon goddess, and that was with a lot of people and guards. I've always hated it cause I didn't have friends. I couldn't even go to school and thus homeschooled. I hated my parents for doing that because I felt restricted and imprisoned. Yes, I got everything I wanted, but some things were never enough. I wanted to see life beyond the walls of my room. I wanted to experience life like anyone would, but I couldn't now that I'm not enjoying the freedom. Just wishing I was back in my room. I would even lock myself up this time. I wouldn't argue with my parents when they told me to stay inside. But sadly I can't do anything like that. Sometimes I wish this was a dream and I would wake up from it, but I know now that it's reality. The harsh, bitter reality. A nightmare that no one knows when it would end. If I really could end it, I'd have done it since, but I can't do anything, and it's sickening. To have a lot of people looking up to me, believing in me when I don't even believe in myself. I don't want to hurt anyone. I know that one day I'd have to work towards fulfilling destiny, because it would come to a point we all would be fed up and wish for death, but I couldn't take it up just yet because I am scared. I am scared that I would let people down. Scared that I won't fulfill the prophecy and die then, have no one to take care of the people, subjecting them to suffering. I wasn't going to do anything. Not until I am brave and powerful to take on her, knowing I would win. I wasn't going to take chances with losing. 𝐿𝐸 signifies failure and suffering. I didn't want any of that. Chapter 2 dedicated to 𝐊𝐸𝐺𝐻𝐿, so we're just gonna walk anywhere. We could walk right into her trap and she'd take every part of our body out until we're nothing. I said, getting tired of riding the horse. We were riding the horse because taking a car was too risky and we were still in the forest part of our society. We got to a clear vast area and there was a landmark that showed a demarcation of territory and boundaries, making us understand that we were about to enter a pack and that wasn't the best thing for us to do right now. We were rogues and had no pack. Wolves and packs consider us dangerous and they kill us at first sight, and I don't blame most of them because of previous occurrence, but that still didn't mean it was fair. We had nowhere else to go. We couldn't lodge in an cause they'd be able to notice us and report us. I was terribly hungry and can't remember when last I ate. I was still thinking of where we could possibly go to and how I could fill my stomach when I heard the sirens followed by the swooshing of arrows shooting towards us. We managed to duck that, but more came. Soon enough we were surrounded by about 30 men. But I don't think it's fair. We're outnumbered here, 3 and 30 is no fair deal. What have we got here? A guy asked. He was the most handsome person I've ever met. His eyes are so dark and a bit scary, making my knees go weak. His bone structure was fine and perfectly symmetrical. It was manly. He's probably 6 feet something. He has tousle brown hair, and his eyes were the green of fresh dew glinting in the sunlight off a leaf of green emerald. Aside from his features, there was something else that pulled me closer to him. It was his scent. He smelled like fresh wood and somewhat fruity, like citrus and cinnamon. Gosh, his scent was so good. I didn't seem to notice, but I think he ordered his people to shoot us, saying we were rogues, cause the next thing I knew arrows were flying from all directions towards us. I used my powers to avoid it, using my eyes to direct the arrow away from coming towards us, changing its direction, and this got them confused and the guy angry. "You guys are damn fools," he shouted angrily, taking an arrow and sending it directly to me. I was busy wondering why he would do that. That's a lie though. I was lost in staring at him and taking in his scent. I didn't even notice when the arrow hit my right shoulder. Sam and Jonathan started shooting arrows at them, hitting every other target while I made sure theirs didn't by using my powers. I stopped for a minute to look at the guy. He had this look that demands respect, and with the strong aura he was in, there was no doubt he was the alpha. I wonder what he wants with us, and what he was going to do to us. I didn't even notice that he had shot Sam and Jonathan, and due to my carelessness, they were down on the floor unconscious. I bet the arrow had some sleeping effect on them. It was good to know that he doesn't want us dead. "Take them," he ordered, and they charged towards us, seizing us. His voice was so cold and icy, and I don't know why I found it appealing. And then it occurred to me, he was my mate. I could have stopped them from taking us. I could have done something. With a simple gesture, all the men in front of me could become corpses rotting in the grass at my feet, including their daunting alpha, but I chose not to. I don't know what lies ahead, but it would be nothing compared to how we've been living. At least he wasn't going to take us to her, or not yet. If he kept us in prison, no one would find us, and at least we would know that we are safe for the time being, and if we're lucky we could get food to eat. He couldn't possibly kill us, could he? He shot another arrow at me on the arm he did before. The ache in my shoulder intensified. It tore through muscle and tissue, lighting flames of pain that seared through the nerves. I gasped and my steps faltered as my teeth clenched together. I began to feel the effect of the shot as they pulled us away. I ignored my bleeding arm or the fact that they concentrated in pulling my right hand. That was the last I remembered, as I soon joined the rest in their sleep. "Wake them up," I heard the cold voice say, and before I knew it, a whole bucket of cold, and when I mean cold, I mean, extremely cold water was poured on each one of us. Seriously, this is how you wake someone up. A little tap on the shoulder would have been good, I said icily. I didn't like the cold water at all. And what do you think, we are your servants to serve the mighty princess? He said scornfully. You clearly look like one to me. I muttered and got a nudge from Sam. And I pretty much fit the role of a princess. Don't flatter yourself, darling. This is reality. You can stop dreaming now. Don't you think you're too old for that? The way he spoke made me have a sudden detest towards him. He didn't seem friendly in any way. I rolled my eyes, having no good comeback, and he smirked. Now back to talk. What were you rogues doing wandering around my end? He asked coldly. We were on a journey. Jonathan spoke up for the first time since we'd be locked up here too. He asked, urging Jonathan to continue. Visit a relative. Sam quipped in. Really? He asked, sounding not convinced. If you were going to visit a relation, then why do you have all this? His tone was demanding. The one where you had to answer real quick. All the weapons we had were thrown on the floor. I would like an explanation for this. You clearly weren't going to visit a relative. Well, we were. We all know how dangerous the whole place is, and with law and day on the loose, we had that for self-defense. To my agent extraordinaire, 𝐿𝐻𝐿 𝐻𝐿𝐬. At least that sounded reasonable to some point. He did what I didn't expect. He laughed. Not the type that got once staring or sounds pleasing to hear. It was a mocking one, and I hated that. Self-defense. What does a girl like you know about self-defense? You couldn't do anything when you were attacked. What could you possibly do then, if you come across law and day? For starters, I could give you as food to her dogs. To my agent extraordinaire, 𝐿𝐻𝐿 𝐻𝐿𝐬. Oh please, I'm being serious here. You and your friends trespass territory. All rogues that land on our land dies, no matter who they may be. He said the last part looking at me. I was trying to tell myself that he doesn't know, but the bastard does. He knew from the start. I don't know why he was treating me like that. I was his mate, for God's sake, and mates are supposed to go all lovey-dovey on each other, so why was mine treating me like this and even threatening to kill me? This wasn't good, and I was beginning to think he would protect me and all, but then he didn't even look like he liked me anyway, and definitely isn't trying to be friendly. Just what type of a mate did I get? If he was going to be like that, I could too. I didn't even need a mate. I could survive without him. He was purely useless to me. So you're going to kill us then? Jonathan asked, and Austin, my useless mate, nodded. We're honored. We clearly like the idea of dying for a stupid reason, as walking into someone's land. We told you we were on a journey. Yeah, that's so believable, right? You can get going now. I think you've said enough already, I said, urging him to leave. I really didn't want him near me. His stupid sent me craving for him, despite the fact that I hated the way he was treating me. My office now, he said, pointing at me. His servants untied my rope and he walked away while expecting me to follow him. I did quite the opposite, sitting staring at how dirty my nails were. I really should do something about it. Too bad I can't get pedicures and manicures any longer. Damn that law and day for taking away my good life. Get up now, he shouted, his voice echoing throughout the cell we were being held. Give me a good reason why I should. I said, still sitting staring at my nails instead of him, and I know I was getting him pissed off. I don't answer to you, he said, and before I knew it he carried me up. Definitely not bridal style, carrying me over his shoulders. The sparks and tingling sensation his touch was spreading through me was incredible. If he was carrying me like this and I felt like this, what would happen if he carried me bridal style? I screamed and kicked, telling him to let go of me, but he didn't. I really wanted to bite him and jump off, but the thought of what he'd do to me restrained me. He opened a door and threw me on the bed with no care in the world at all. Why am I falling in love with him even more? Gosh, I hate his guts. We have to talk, and I want you to be honest with me. Cut the crap about you guys being on a journey, cause I know that's far from it. Chapter 3. Dedicated to not that. Perfect, I'm hungry. Could I get something to eat? I haven't had a proper meal in days, I said, and he just looked at me. How does that have anything to do with what I just said? I'm hungry. I whined. Let's make a deal then. I get you food and in return you tell me everything. Sounds tempting but no. I declined. You should better do as I say while I'm still asking nicely. His tone commanding and intimidating. Well, I don't answer to you. And I'm also not going to play the role of a puppet dancing to your tune doing everything you ask of me. I said, matching his tone. A day or two of torture would be able to bring out the little amount of sense you have left. He threatened. At least I have some sense left. I can clearly see that you don't. Watch your tongue, sweetheart. I wouldn't seem to say that if I were you. See why I said you don't have sense? No one, absolutely no one talks to me the way you are talking to me, and I'm not going to stand it. He said arrogantly. Well, I'm not forcing you to stand it. There's a seat just behind you. That's it. He fumed angrily. You are not going to talk to me like that, sweetheart. And you're going to talk to me how you want. Yes, I can and I will. He remarked in his usual manner of speech. I really don't have time to listen to you, and I really don't care what you do. I'd like if you took me back to where you saw me. That's not happening. In case you've forgotten, you're my prisoner, he said with a smirk. And I don't let go of my prisoners. You're right. Isn't it because this one prisoner happened to be your mate? I said, smirking. Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I could kill you if I want to. He said, trying to deny the claim. Then why don't you want to? I asked, smirking. Luckily for him, he wasn't able to answer the question because someone barged in saying his attention was needed. I bet he didn't even have a reply anyway. I'm not done with you yet. We'd have a talk when I get back, he said authoritatively with that cold voice of his, then walked out. When he left, I just sat on the bed lazily and sighed. This wasn't how I expected to meet my mate, and this wasn't how I expected him to be. I hoped we would meet in one of the annual balls and he won't be able to take his eyes off me, and then we'd dance and he would be charming, not someone like him, but I should have known. My life has never gone in the direction I want it to. I decided to make do of the situation. There was a bathroom and I could really use a bath. I can't remember when last I had a proper bath in the privacy and comfort of a bathroom. I stripped off my clothes, then went to the bathroom. The bathroom was big, really big. It had blue tiles and there was a toilet and a shelf where some toiletries were kept. I really didn't want to look around and just jumped into the bath and turned on the shower, the cold water hitting me hard. I washed, then came out when I was done taking a towel from the shelf. I wrapped it around my body and went outside. Luckily for me, he wasn't out. I went to the closet and it was no surprise that it was his from the scent and the color of clothes. It was as if he only knew the color black existed. I took out a shirt obvious too big for me and slipped it on, and it stopped just mid-thigh. I quickly wore my head warmer back. I couldn't risk him or anyone else seeing my hair. Just as I slipped it on, he walked in. His eyes were over my body, and for a second I thought I saw pleasure in them, but it was just his usual look. What the hell are you doing in my clothes? He questioned angrily, and I knew I had hit a nerve. I really didn't have a good comeback, so I was quiet. I asked you a question. Oh, sorry, what did you say? I asked, forget it. He said, and I was glad he was letting me go for once. Get out of my clothes right now, he ordered with a smirk. You've got to be kidding me, I said, staring at him in disbelief. I meant right now, he said, staring at me with that his annoying gaze. You clearly don't think I would, do you? No, you don't have to, he said, and I sighed internally. The next thing I knew, he was standing right in front of me, very close, and my stupid wolf liked it that way and was hoping he'd take us right then. His scent was stronger now, and I knew that he had the incline to kiss me as I hoped he would. Would you take them off, or you could prefer me doing it? Fine. I'd get out of your clothes. I didn't like it anyway, I said, heading to the bathroom. Who said anything about you taking it off there? He asked, and I scoffed. Perverted bastard. If you think I'm going to strip off in front of you or allow you to, then you're absolutely wrong, mister. If you want to see a naked woman, you can go hire your personal whore. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time anyway. As soon as the word left my mouth, I regretted it. He looked really angry. Angrier than I've ever seen him, but then he just laughed. Why would I go hire a whore when I have one here? He asked with a smirk. The bastard just called me a whore. You bastard. I said, raising my hand to slap him, which he caught mid-air. You're going to have to do as I tell you, sweetheart. I clearly won't stand your stupid behavior. Well, yours is stupider. You clearly don't know how to talk to a person without raising your voice. Assuming you were nice to me, I would too, but you just happen to be an arrogant, authoritative bastard. I'd show you what an arrogant, authoritative bastard is, he said, and before I could say anything or ask how, his mouth was over mine. His mouth was on mine, kissing me while I didn't do much, although my body was aching for him to kiss me as hard as he was. I wasn't going to give the bastard the satisfaction of kissing him back. I was hoping that he'd pull out, but he didn't. I don't think he would until I surrender, and I really wasn't planning on doing so, but my body was saying otherwise. I wanted to kiss him back with equal fervor. His mouth seek for permission, I gave him, regretting it. I should have just pushed him off, but I couldn't resist it. I opened my mouth and his filled it. His kisses were demanding, and I soon found myself answering to it. Soon our tongues were dancing together. Damn, he tasted so good, and I couldn't help but stifle out a moan, and the bastard was damn happy about that, and felt him smirk through the kiss. What, I wasn't going to be the only one moaning here. I called him closer to me, and he wrapped his hands around me. I wrapped my hands around his neck, stroking his beautiful dark hair as we kissed. I matched each of his thrusts, and soon enough I had him moaning too. A smile appeared on my face, knowing that I won. He left my mouth to my neck, and I moaned as he sent kisses there. Damn him for making me want him so. We clearly were in our world and didn't notice the constant bang on the door nor when the person entered until the person cleared their throat, till I pushed him away lightly, but he didn't seem to let go. "Sir, 𝐿𝐷𝐷 is here to see you," the person announced, and he threw a lamp at the person. "How many times do I have to tell you not to interrupt me, and if you need to, you should knock before coming in when I tell you to?" he asked angrily. "I'm sorry, sir. I knocked though," the boy said, visibly shaking. "Just get out of here, and as for 𝐿𝐷𝐷, tell her to wait in my office," he said, and the boy left hastily, and he turned to look at me. The whole time I was wondering who the 𝐿𝐷𝐷 was. Maybe his girlfriend. The thought of them together. He kissing her got me angry. I knew I shouldn't have let him kiss me. The stupid bastard was just going to prove a point. He took his gaze away from me and left without a word. Chapter for Damon's POV. I got out of the room and went to meet 𝐿𝐷𝐷, thinking about how I met my mate. I was just in my office when the alarm went off that rogues trespassed on my land, and I wasn't prepared to let them live. Rogues had been wreaking havoc for quite some time, and we killed anyone seen to prevent that wasn't the case here. I went outside to see just 3 of them, and they looked pretty messed up, but I was still able to catch the scent of the female. Her scent was like vanilla and lemon. It was simply alluring, and I found myself wanting to be close to her, but then she's a rogue and I don't associate with them. Not even if she happens to be my mate. What have we got here? We surrounded them, and soon enough I ordered my men to shoot them. Unsurprisingly, I didn't even get to them. This made me confused, angry and curious. "You guys are damn fools," I said angrily, aiming for her shoulder and shooting the arrow there. I couldn't bring myself to kill her because she is my mate. My better half, but she was a rogue and we couldn't be together. I don't want to be with her. She took out the arrow from her right hand, staring at me. Her other friends were on the floor. They were shot on their stomach, but it wasn't anything serious. I just decided to be mild with her because she was my mate and I needed answers as to why they are here. We were in a cell and I was currently questioning them about their mission, but they seemed to have fabricated a lie about not knowing on a journey to visit their relatives. Who the hell visits a relation at this time? I asked for her to be brought to my office, but she didn't comply. She amuses me. She's completely rude and has a way with her words. She has no respect whatsoever and doesn't even seem to talk nicely to me, not minding that she's at the mercy of her life. No one dares talk to me like that, and I wasn't prepared to take it from her. A rogue who's supposed to be begging me to spare her life. I clearly wouldn't take her sassy attitude, not even if she's my mate. I entered my office, 𝐿𝐷𝐷 there sitting down staring at her phone. She looked really pretty in her pink floral flare gown. "Hey you," she said, smiling, looking up at me, and I find her smile so appealing. "Yeah, I am," I said, pecking her on both cheeks before going to sit down. "You look exhausted," she said, looking at me intently. "Word out that you spared some rogues. Is it true?" Word sure does spread quickly, but that I pretty much didn't blame them. This was the first. No rogue was ever spared after questioning. Are you gonna say something? Why spare this particular rogues, or what do you have in mind to do to them? Sincerely, I had not thought about that. I didn't want to hurt them yet. I still needed to find out why she's here and what their purpose is exactly, but I couldn't tell her that. Let's not talk about them, baby, I said, walking up to meet her, kissing her lightly on her lips. How can we not talk about them? They deserve to die, Damon, she said, fiercely, trying to ignore the sensations I was creating in her as I started trading kisses down her neck. Can we not talk about them? Right now I just want to be with you. I knew the right words to say to her to just stop talking, and that caused her to smile and kiss me. Same here. But you have to do something about them, Damon. They can't get caught free, she said in a mumbled hum, not really paying attention to what she said. Right now I just need a distraction to stop myself from thinking about her. After having a round with Chi-Chi, I stayed up thinking about her. I don't even know why she was occupying my thoughts, but I pushed it out and thought of something reasonable. I really needed to do something about this situation. It was already suspicious as it seems. I had to let her go. Kill her or let her stay, but I knew she wouldn't be welcomed here. I finally made a decision after much thought and slept. The next morning I woke up remembering the events that happened last night. I got out of bed, careful not to wake Chi-Chi up. I got into the shower and had a cold bath. I wore my usual casual clothes and went to the cell she was kept. When I left her yesterday, I ordered someone to take her back there, and I have them under strict surveillance. I got into the cell and saw her sleeping peacefully. I ordered for a bucket of water and did the honors of pouring it on them. What the hell? They chorused, each waking up from sleep, but the others realizing it was me kept their mouths shut after that, looking down, but she just couldn't shut up. I don't know what's with you and waking someone up like that, but I don't like it and wouldn't take it from you. Can't someone ever have a peaceful sleep without ever being interrupted rudely? Now that got me interested, so I'm not the only one who does that. You've been to cells often, or you just have your sleep interrupted. That's none of your damn business, she retorted. It seems like you're forgetting what you are and where you are. I would mind which if I were you. That's the thing, I'm not you and I can talk anyhow I want to, she shouted. She was really infuriating me, talking to me like that. I really wanted to do something that would hurt her. Torture her until she learns a lesson. I want you to state the real reason why you were on my land, or else. Or else what? She daringly questioned. I'd kill you, I said, smirking, and she just laughed. Don't underestimate me, sweetheart. I am very capable of bringing you to your ruins, and I won't think twice about ending you, cause you rogues do not matter. Now want to tell me the real reason? I'd rather die than tell you anything, she said, and I got so annoyed. I don't know what she's hiding or why she can't tell me, but I certainly wouldn't take her nonsensical attitude. I've had enough. And so be it then, I said angrily. I'd be more than happy to grant you your wish. She was just being stupid, don't listen to her. Her companion with the dark hair spoke up. We are actually running from. Shut your mouth up, Jonathan, or I swear I'd end you, she said harshly, and the manner at which she spoke was so commanding, and it didn't sound like those empty threats people say to shut people up. She sounded so serious. So Miss Sassy, he was running away from someone. Who could that person be? I asked, hoping she could answer, and I was actually thinking about who or what she could be running from. That's none of your damn business, mister, she coldly replied, and at that moment she sounded dangerous. I would have you give out every bit of information I want from you, I said authoritatively, and she laughed. You can't do that. You won't even come close to having me say a word, she boasted. We'd see about that, I said, and left chapter 5. I'm not staying a second in this damn place, I said angrily. And what are you going to do about that? Jonathan asked. You just keep on provoking the hell out of the guy. Maybe he even wanted to release us, but you had to open your mouth and get him angry, Sam said angrily. Well, if you guys can take his attitude, I certainly can tell, and you can stay here waiting for him to release you, I said, doing air quotes when I said release. How are we going to get out? He has our things, remember? Thanks. Well, not for long. To my 𝐊𝐴𝐺𝐸 𝐷𝐿𝐿, hearts out thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. So what's the plan? Jonathan asked. The guards were not within earshot and were standing outside, which was in a room, so they were behind the door and wouldn't notice me missing. I had the power to turn invisible, but it could only last for 5 minutes, so I had to be quick about what I wanted to do. I turned invisible and I liked the fear it had. I could also walk right through things like a ghost. I walked right through the cell and the door, walking past the guards who couldn't even see me. I stopped realizing I had a problem. I had no idea where the office was or where he kept them, and worst still, I had no idea how to get there, and I didn't have time to waste. I had to find the place fast and get back to the cell after taking our things, and all in 5 minutes. How possible that was. I saw the dude that walked in while we were kissing standing out from a big black door with some other guards, and I hoped it was his office, and walked right through the door, and yeah, it was. He was in his office kissing who I presumed to be 𝐶𝐲𝐬 or another one of his whore. That got to me a little. I know our kiss didn't mean anything to him, it really didn't to me, but then I just hated seeing them together. It wasn't jealousy, just hatred. As if what they had yesterday wasn't enough. I had to bear the pain while they enjoyed themselves. It was as if someone was slicing my stomach repeatedly, and to see them again kissing was just something that made me angry. He knows of my existence, but he just caught being a man whore. I wouldn't be surprised to find out this was his way of torturing me, but is there even a need for that? He was trailing kisses down her neck, she was moaning. I really hated seeing that, and it got me angry, and I couldn't control my powers, and I started creating a minor tornado, sending things flying around the corner, and the ground to shake, controlling both the air and earth element at the same time. They paused, taking in their surroundings. What's happening? 𝐶𝐲𝐬 asked, scared. I made use of the distraction and took our things with our weapons. I shouldn't have let that get to me. I calmed down, it stopped. It's nothing, he replied, resuming from where they stopped. That got me angry, but I controlled it and walked outside. I wasn't going to let him affect me. I would be out of his life now, and he won't matter. I would go and forget that I have a mate, cause he's worthless. I got back to the cell and noticed, and was still slightly angry. Now that we have gone past that, we had the toughest thing to face. How to get past their tight security unnoticed and leave safely. Now how do we get out of the cell? Jonathan asked, and I smiled, gripping the bars, and enough it started burning. I know I was going to extreme and we would be caught that way, but I don't want to stay here any longer. Soon enough it came crashing down, making noise, and that attracted the attention of the guards who came through the door. How, one asked, staring at the foreign cell. I'd show you. 𝐿𝐷𝐼𝐸𝐴 𝐿𝐷𝐼𝐸𝐴 𝐿𝐷𝐼𝐸𝐴. I was about to burn him to death, but I decided not to. Where do you think you're going to? Another asked, pointing his gun at us, but Jonathan was quicker, shooting him straight in the heart. That caused fear, and it officially started the fight. Shooting started and an alarm went off. He was going to get involved now, and we had to get out of here as soon as possible. An arrow was shot at me, and I caught it mid-air and shot it back at the person. Someone charged at me with a dagger, and I easily dodged, stabbing the person on the leg. Nuts, it didn't stop the person from trying. He kicked me and tripped me. I fell and tripped him too, and when he was down with me, I quickly rolled over and stabbed him in the stomach. Jonathan was handling it pretty well as one charged at him, and he used his muscular frame as an advantage, gripping the person's hand tightly, and I did hear a few bone crack as he took both hands, causing the dagger to fall out of his hand. Someone was pointing a gun at Sam, and I used my powers to take it away from Sam, using the gun to kill someone else charging towards me. We ran out the cell, careful enough to dodge the bullet shot at us, and finally we were in an open field outside. All that just needed to be done was to climb over the big fence and we'd be out of here for good, but it was not that easy. Soon enough we were surrounded by 30 of them again. This isn't fair, and I chose not to play fair. They were each pointing a gun or at us, and the last person I expected to see came out of nowhere. Move a step and I won't hesitate to order them to shoot, he said coldly, his tone icy as usual, daring me to take a step. I held his gaze as he dared me with his eyes to move. What are we going to do now? Jonathan whispered. We take a step. Let's make a run for this, I said, and they both gave me the "are you crazy" look. Okay, what is the plan? Jonathan asked. I see you are scared. I'd make this easy for you. You come forward and return to the cell, or you try anything stupid and you get killed. But either way you die though, he said, smirking. You wish, I said, smirking. Although he was high, arrogant and all, he couldn't dare kill me, could he? Try me, he said, smirking. The way he spoke suggested that he was going to act on his words, not minding the consequence. "You order your men to drop their weapons and us go, or I kill every one of them, including you," I said commandingly, and he laughed. He had the guts to laugh at me, and I'd show him he's messing with the wrong girl. "What could you possibly do? You're nothing but a feeble girl and you can do nothing," he said mockingly. I was really hating him. "What if you are so sure that I'm feeble and I can do nothing? Why are you keeping me as your prisoner then?" I asked, smirking. He was silent for a while, not saying anything. He obviously has nothing to say to that. Tongue-tied now. "You try moving and I won't hesitate to kill you myself," he said with a tone of finality. "I'd like to see you try." I did. Chapter 6. "You like daring me," he said angrily. "You can't possibly kill me. We both know that," I said, smirking. "I'm sure you won't be surprised that I can," he said coldly. "I'd make this easy for you. You let us go and we'd forget this ever happened. 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐷𝐞𝐝 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐷𝐞𝐝 "I'd like to see you try living without me," he said, smirking. "Speak for yourself. I've lived without you my entire life. You can't begin to affect me now, and moreover you mean nothing to me," I said coldly. "Keep trying to reassure yourself with that," he said, smirking. "I totally don't like this dude. Why couldn't I have had a sensible mate that would be interested in me, not trying to hold me as a prisoner or kissing someone else and even doing the deed with the person when he knows that I exist? The way he talks to me doesn't help either. But my stupid wolf still craves for him to look at me and kiss me. Hey, I'm not stupid, and you can't deny the fact that you enjoyed the kiss and wouldn't pull out if he kissed you again," my wolf Alexis said. "Oh please. The kiss was sloppy, and if he dares kiss me again I'd slap him and walk out just like he did." "You're right, like you can do that," she said, probably rolling her eyes internally. "I can. The person you're dying for has another chick, and we both know the chick, and we both know that our kiss didn't mean anything to him cause he was busy fucking her next. Did you have to remind me about that?" "Yes, so you get him out of your system. Get over him, okay? We clearly don't need him. You're just trying to convince yourself with that." "Not me, I'm done talking with you," I said, blocking her out. They were still here. I was hoping that they'd have been gone by now, but they were still here. I sighed in frustration and rubbed my head. "I don't mind staying in a cell. I'm tired of running anyway," Jonathan said, and I just looked at him. "Well, I'd rather run than stay here." 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐷𝐞𝐝 "Enough of the talking," he said, and his men began to shoot at us while we carefully dodged. I was currently hiding behind a tree and shooting from there. Sam and Jonathan were doing the same too. We managed to kill at least 15 of them. "Are you just going to hide?" he asked, daring me to come out, and I did. "Are you just going to watch us kill your people?" I asked, smirking, looking at our handwork. "No, I won't," he said, shooting me on the arm. I officially hated him. How dare he shoot me again? I didn't want to wince in pain, but I couldn't help it. It hurts and to know he was the one who did it. Sam and Jonathan came out to trying to help me, but I brushed them off and started a mini earthquake and turbulent wind. They clearly wouldn't know I was the one and knew we would have them off our backs. I clearly should have done this since they couldn't see a thing for the time being and couldn't move. I took some weapons from those that were dead and made it ash for it. We made it to the fence. Sam climbed, getting over it. Jonathan did to end while I was at the top about to jump to the other side. Something pushed me. It wasn't me being clumsy, tripping or something, but it was like a force, and I found myself falling off the high fence. I was going to break my spinal cord and die. At that moment I lost control of my powers and it stopped as I came crashing down. Well, so I thought. He actually did the favor of catching me so he could torment me, but no way was I giving him that. His grip on me was tight, and maybe it was my imagination, but his heart was beating faster, as if he was scared of what would have happened otherwise. Sam and Jonathan actually came back just when I thought someone had made it out. I was really frustrated by this. I really didn't want to stay here. "Oh, but his touch," Alexis said, squealing. I had to admit that I liked being in his arms, but it was that and nothing more. I started feeling the pain on my arms again. "What the hell were you thinking jumping the fence?" he asked, shouting. I would have rolled my eyes at him or asked him why he cared, but all of a sudden my body started hurting. It was as if I was being pierced with a needle over repeatedly. I screamed in pain, not minding if he was there. It hurts like hell, especially the fact that it was mostly on the arm that I was shot. I couldn't even begin to describe the pain and kept on screaming. Why on earth was this happening? My vision blurred and my head was spinning around and I kept on screaming, but I didn't miss that voice. What the hell is happening to her, and what can be done about it? My mate shouted. I'd care of her. 𝐷𝐸 just glared at him. And how exactly are you going to do that? I will take care of her, okay. Just but if will you? Said. I will. It's not like I care anyway. He said, then walked out. Jonathan, carry her for me, will you? Sam said, and Jonathan did. They carried me back inside and I couldn't help but scream all the way. We entered a room and it was locked while Sam and I were in. What's happening? I questioned. It seems like 𝐊𝐸 is taking it out on you. Stop it. I shouted and he just nodded. Sam was a wizard and he knew of some stuff that I didn't. He wasn't a wolf at all. Jonathan. He started talking in words that I couldn't understand, obviously casting a spell. He said it repeatedly for about 3 times, and nothing seemed to have happened. I was still screaming as a result of the pain from whatever was happening. I don't understand why, but it's not working. Sam said, confused, while I let out a frustrated scream. Do something. Anything. I'm sorry. I can't. He answered and I continued screaming. Why the hell was she doing this? Hurting me over and over again. The worst part is that she hurts me every damn time and I can't do anything about it. I haven't even met her in person and she was making me live through hell while I simply sat back in pain. I wish I could hurt her as much as she hurts me. If she could hurt me this much, what would she do when we were finally face to face? I didn't even want to know cause I knew it wouldn't be good. I just stayed screaming until it stopped 20 minutes later. I felt miserable. I was hurting everywhere. Why couldn't you stop it, Sam? I asked angrily. She locked the spell, okay. I couldn't do anything about it. She made sure of that. I thought she could only control element. I asked, confused. That doesn't stop her from asking for the witch's help, does it? I'm doomed. It's not only her now. The witches are in this too. I'd clearly die earlier than I imagined, I said, sighing, frustrated lie. How can the spell be unlocked? I asked, not liking the idea that Sam couldn't do anything when next it happens. It can only be unlocked by the person who does it. Great. Just great. I have to stand this alongside other things that she does. It's all going to be over soon. Sam said soothingly, that's what you told me 2 years ago. I said annoyingly. I seriously wanted this to end as soon as possible. Chapter 7, 𝐴mon's POV. I didn't know what to do when she lost balance and nearly fell, and I had to admit, I was shocked. Even though I didn't like her, I didn't want her to get hurt. You're right, says the guy that shot her on the arm not once but twice. My wolf, Tyler said, growling. Well, it's not my fault that she's a rogue and she's very stubborn. I had to prove a point. Well, she's our mate and you are going to treat her right. No, I won't. You can't tell me how to treat her. You're not the one who stands her talking like that. Well, you totally deserve it anyway. Just as much as she deserves it. Gosh, you're so cruel even to your mate, but if it's 𝐶𝐶, don't drag 𝐶𝐶 into this, okay? See what I'm saying? He said, and I just rolled my eyes, blocking him out. When I stopped talking to my wolf, I realized that she was still screaming. I thought he was going to do something about it. I could feel that she was still in pain. I didn't really like that. It was either the pain was too much or the mate bond was working already. Her screams was echoing through the room and a lot of people would have been hearing it. I thought about the shake and the wind and I couldn't think about what could have caused it, and I also remembered the time in my office. I didn't like that. I had to find the cause. Nothing like this had happened since then, so it had to be that something was wrong now. I just hoped that I was just worrying too much. Her screams has finally stopped and I decided to take a look at her. I walked to her room and saw her laying on the bed with those guys staying around her. What to tell me what happened, I said rather than ask to know. I'd think about it maybe when pigs fly. She replied. I just stared at her in utter dismay. She really had a way of talking that just irritated and annoyed me. What's so difficult in telling me what happened? I think I just resolved to torturing you. I want an answer or explanation right now. I ordered, shouting. I told you I'm not going to tell you anything. Not even if you force me to. Now can you please leave? I have a lot on my plate already and you just keep on adding to it. She shouted. I just keep on adding to it. I asked angrily. Who was the one that trespassed on my land, huh? Ever since you came things have been out of control and I damn well need an explanation or I kill all of you and don't even think of escaping. You have until tomorrow. I'm hungry. She whined. I told you I was hungry and you couldn't even do anything about it. You only came here to shout at me rather than check up on me. I don't want to stay here, so just do us a favor and take us back where you saw us. How can she say that? I actually came to check up on her, but I see it was of no use. I don't care if you starve to death and you won't leave here. Not alive. I said coldly and walked out, but I didn't miss her comment. We should just kill him and get out of here. He's worse than a great asshole. So her purpose was to kill me. Well, we'd see about that. I stationed 10 guards around the premises and later heightened the security around. I didn't want her trying to escape again. I went to the cell where they were held before and I saw that the bar was broken. It fell out of its place. I have no idea how that could have happened. No one has ever done this before. There was something mysterious about them. Mostly about her. The dark-haired one that I think his name is Jonathan seems to be a wolf, but I couldn't tell what the other was. He wasn't human. That was for sure, but he wasn't a wolf, leaving me with 2 options: vampire or wizard, and I knew a vampire when I see one, so he clearly wasn't one. He was obviously a wizard. How else could the bar have fallen? That explains it. She was traveling with a rogue wolf and wizard. It was either she was in danger running away from it, or she was dangerous. I stuck to both. I knew they couldn't have stumbled upon my land like that. Her purpose was to kill me along with her wizard friend and rogue wolf. I had lots of enemies that tried and is still trying to kill me. I just didn't expect my mate to be one of them. I should have killed them the instant I met them, knowing they were not able to run away. I went to my office to take care of other things. On my way there, I met Chi-Chi waiting outside my office. I heard what happened. Are you all right? She asked, a tone filled with concern, something that I know my mate lacked. Yes, I'm fine, I said, walking into the office, and she followed. You should have just killed them. Why do you keep on sparing them? I'm going to kill them, but I need answers first. To my 𝐴𝐸𝐿 𝐊𝐢𝐴𝐸𝐿𝐬𝐙. I need to know just what exactly their plan is. That's why you saved her from falling, right? She said mockingly. You should have left her to fall down and die, or are you forgetting what the rogues did? Should I remind you? Chi-Chi, I said in a tone that suggested she dropped it. You very well know the threats the rogues pose, and yet you still leave them be. Why on earth didn't you kill them? I heard about the cell. No one has ever done that, no matter how powerful they are, but somehow they did. They're not ordinary, Damon. They are rogues, and they are not ordinary. I don't know the real reason why you are hesitating to kill them, but if you don't have the balls to, someone else would. She hated rogues a lot. Almost everyone here does, and that's why I can't accept her as a mate. She would always be seen as a threat, and it doesn't help that they're more than that. A lot of people would do anything to kill them. I was angry at the way Chi-Chi spoke. How dare she question my authority? Leave my office, Cecilia, I said, calmly, resisting the urge to shout. I'm sorry, Damon. I didn't mean to say all that. You know how I feel about the rogues, don't you? She said at the edge of tears. I don't want to lose you to Damon. You wouldn't. Now leave, I said, Dame, and I'm sorry, she said, and the way she spoke made me calm down a bit. She pretty sounded sincere and looked like she would cry any moment soon, and I didn't want that. Just go upstairs and get some rest. I have things to take care of, I said, cupping her face in my hand. You come join me when you're done, she asked, and I nodded, muttering, as soon as I'm done. I gave her a little kiss on the lips and then she left. I sighed, sitting down. What was I supposed to do? I couldn't just kill her like that, and I doubt if it would be easy killing the wizard, but I had to do something and do it fast. After hours of pondering on the issue, I got up and went where they were. My decision already made. Chapter 8 dedicated to Ivy Benitali Honors POV. I hated him a lot. Just what type of a mate was he? I was half expecting him to come rushing in to check on me to be sure I was safe, but he didn't, and that just annoyed me, and to top it all I was seriously hungry. Maybe it will be best if I die from hunger rather than in the hand of my mate or sister. Yeah, that was better. I just stick to that, but I really wanted to eat. What are we going to do now? I whined. Let's just beg him for our lives, Jonathan said while Sam and I glared at him. You can do that. I'd rather he kill me. I doubt if he'd spare us if we begged. That guy is colder than ice and seems wicked and uglier than the devil, I said. Yeah. That explains why you stare at him like you want to kiss him right there and then, Sam said, and I scoffed. Oh please. Why would I want to kiss him? I'm sure he tastes as bad as he looks, I said, denying the claim quickly. It's either you've got dibs for him or... Is he your mate? Jonathan asked with sudden realization, and I just coughed. No way was I admitting that he is. He isn't he? Jonathan asked, continuing his question. No wonder you had his scent all over him the last time. I was going to ask you about it, but decided to drop it. You still have his scent though. That's because I'm wearing his shirt, moron. I said, why are you wearing it? Jonathan asked, smirking. Don't tell me you guys have mated already, Sam said, looking at me disappointed. Lie. Oh please. I'm not stupid to do that, I said, rolling my eyes. Then why is his scent all over you, huh? Jonathan asked, smiling, while Sam looked at me, urging me to say something. Gosh. You both are acting like two girls who is adamant on getting tabs on the other friend's sex life, but I'm sorry to sink your ship, but nothing happened between us and nothing would ever happen, I said sternly, while Jonathan laughed. That's impossible, babe. Some things are just meant to happen, he said, smiling. On a more serious note, we need a plan. I won't be surprised if he walks in here to kill us, I said seriously. Oh please. He can't kill you. He should be smarter than that, Jonathan said. That's the point. He's not smart. To my 𝐿𝐷𝐸 𝐷𝐸 𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐷 in danger because of me. So what's the plan? Sam asked. You're asking me. I came up with the last one and look where it got us. The same place, I said, disappointed. If not for that stupid law one day, I would have been out of here. We're not in the same place. We're in a room we were to cell before. There's a difference, a big one. The cell's not good while he seems to be comfortable, Jonathan said while Sam and I had our hands on our faces looking at him with sheer stupidity. We appreciate your comment, i.e. We really do, but if nothing reasonable is going to come out from your mouth, you may as well shut up, Sam said sternly. Okay. My mouth's zipped from now, he said, pretending to zip it. Good. Sen, do you think your mate would carry on the decision of killing us? How'd I know? A simple yes or no would have been okay, Sam said, rolling his eyes, and I stuck my tongue out at him as he laughed. We need more people on our side. We need a vampire in the team. A strong, skilled one. It would really help a lot, Jonathan suggested. That sounds good. Look who's got brains now, Sam said with a fake cheer, clapping his hands while Jonathan just glared at him. Have you thought of how we'd get this vampire? You know the history between those two, and yet you suggested that he spared us now because of her. The Vampire King would kill us without thinking. Exactly, and I'm not really interested in painful death. I'd pretty much stick to death by hunger. To my 𝐊𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐷𝐞𝐝 𝐊𝐢𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐷𝐞𝐝 𝐊𝐢𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐞𝐝. Thank you very much for your opinion. But we need one, though. No one can compare their strength, speed and superpower. Said, we'd have to go to the Vampire Kingdom. Okay, we can risk it. To my 𝐊𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐷𝐞𝐝 𝐊𝐢𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐿𝐻𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐿𝐻𝐴𝐿𝐻𝐴𝐿𝐻𝐵. And we have to get a protective spell against what she's doing. I can't do that, but I know someone who can. Seems like we'd be visiting both Vampire Kingdom and the Witch's Land. How exciting, I said sarcastically. Can't the Vampire King kill Yor and Day and let this end? It's not that easy, Jonathan chipped in. I'm tired of this already. I whined. It's been 2 horrible years already. I hope this all ends fast. It can. All you have to do is kill 𝐊𝐿𝐿. Sam said, and I just sighed. You're saying it as if all I have to do is go to her, stab her, and boom, she's dead. It's not easy, Sam. To my 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐬 𝐷𝐿𝐿𝐬 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐼𝐴�𝐿𝐬. I know, and I'm not saying it is. I was just telling you that was the only solution. I can't wait for this all to end. I said, sighing softly. It would end sooner than we think. Jonathan chirped in, I hope so. To my 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐬 𝐷𝐿𝐿𝐬 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐼𝐴𝐿𝐬. But we could still enjoy this place for the time being, since your mate might not kill us. I'm tired of this running and moving from one place to another. Jonathan said. Who isn't? Sam said rhetorically. I was really tired. My failed plan and all. I just felt so devastated and decided to sleep. I laid on the bed and Sam put his hands around me. I couldn't help but think about then, when things were going great to some point. Aren't you excited? You're turning 18. My mom said with glee. Yeah, and I'm going to spend forever staying locked up. Amy, stop that. You know we're doing it for you, she said, trying to make me understand. We always had this argument over and over again. Doing it for me. Mom, I've been inside all my life. I only have Sam and Jonathan as friends, and that's because they're the ones training me to fight. Fight for what I don't understand. We're safe everywhere's peaceful. Why can't I be around people and have friends? Why? I asked, shouting. You'd understand later. You'd understand that we did this to protect you, she said, and I could see that she was teary-eyed. It always ended up like this. Protect me from what, Mom? The guests are outside. You should come down, she said, dismissing the topic, and I just rolled my eyes at it. You may find your mate, she said, squealing, and I joined in too. She sure knew how to get my mind off things. I was excited to find my mate. I've always been. To know that I had someone that would love me unconditionally really excited me, and I really wanted to leave this place too. But I left it, didn't I? And look, I can't wait to go back to my former life. I really haven't slept long when I was yanked away from the bed. I opened my eyes to see him punching Sam again and again. What the hell is wrong with you? I asked, shouting. Leave him alone right now. Why, so you can have his hands around you while you're sleeping? He asked, shouting, still beating him up angrily. For a second he sounded jealous. When were you planning on telling me? I asked you and you couldn't tell me. Why? Tell you what? I asked, confused. He was sounding as if I was keeping the secret of his life being in danger. You can drop your architect now. I heard every single damn thing he said coldly, and I gulped. What was I thinking saying that in here? What was I going to do now? I didn't want him to find out. I sighed and raked my hands through my hair, and I heard him gasp, and that was when I realized that my bee fell off. Good, just great. This day was being the best in my life. I want a full explanation, and don't you even dare think of lying to me, he said authoritatively with that cold voice of his.